You might be wondering, where the heck is this guy's grass? Well, today I'm going to tell you why there is no grass here in my front yard. For decades, it seemed like you had to have grass, maybe a couple of ornamental trees, and some bushes, kind of like boxwood in your front yard. And that was what you had to have. But do you really have to do that? Sure, your front yard should look presentable and organized, and that's what I plan on doing with my yard. But does it have to be just a bunch of useless grass, trees, and bushes? I'm not aware of any commandment that says, "Thou shalt not have veggies in thy front yard." There's not. There are ways that you can landscape with food. It's called edible landscaping, and that's what I'm going to do here. But before I go into exactly my plan, let me show you what my yard looked like when I moved to this property about a year ago.
There were a million quaking aspens in the front yard and an enormous front porch. This will give you an idea of what my yard looked like during the summer. Quaking aspens are a clonal tree and they spread everywhere.
Woohoo!
Needless to say, the front porch and the trees, they just had to go. Fortunately, we have a family member who owns an excavator who helped us. Here's my plan.
Over here by this gravel pad, I will be putting in two fruit trees here in my Zone 4 yard. One of them is either going to be an apple or a pear, I haven't decided which, and a peach tree, probably a contender. Contender is known to bloom later and is known to do better in Zone 4 climates than most peach trees. Here in this middle area, we will be putting in three 4x8 raised beds. This is the south side of our yard, and it gets the most sunlight and also gets reflected heat off of our home and off of that street. So this will be my best place to grow things like tomatoes, squash, pumpkins, eggplant, and things of that nature. As this is still a front yard and I want to keep things ornamental, we will have some flowers planted along here near the street, about a 5 foot border of flowers along that and my driveway. We will have some bushes planted closer to the house here. Of course, those bushes will be fruiting bushes. I'm thinking either honeyberry or gooseberry, which do well in Zone 4 cold climates. Why am I doing this? Well, when I moved into this home, I had to get rid of those Quakies. They were going to be a giant mess. Plus, I didn't like them. But I'm doing this really for two main reasons. One, I wanted more growing space, and so my front yard, which faces south, for sun-loving, heat-loving crops is the best area to do it in. But you could be asking, well, you could have kept some of the grass, couldn't you? Well, I could have, but I live in a dry area. This is the Great Basin. We don't get much water. And the types of grass that we grow for our lawns and things here in the United States is Kentucky bluegrass. Well, this ain't Kentucky. Frankfort, Kentucky, the capital of Kentucky, gets about 47 inches of water a year. Here at my home, we get about 12. We get a quarter amount of the water. We don't have the water for Kentucky bluegrass. We don't have the water for lawn and grass that doesn't serve any purpose. My kids don't play out here. It would just be out here for a filler, I guess. I wanted to get rid of it. I live in the watershed of the Great Salt Lake, and if you've been watching the news at all or know anything about the Great Salt Lake, it's disappearing. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And so that's why I'm going to nix my grass. The flowers that will be used in that flower bed are going to be water-wise things, things that do well here in the Rocky Mountain region or are even native to it. This should cut my water usage out here in front to a fraction of what it would have been had I kept grass here. Of course, I'm not finished with this project yet. I've just barely started. But keep following along here with my channel here on Rocky Mountain Gardener, because I'm going to be loading up more videos showing what I'm doing to this yard and the progress that I make.
Thank you so much for watching, and join us next time as we grow within the shadows of the everlasting hills.
If you like this video, please subscribe and like.